Have you ever felt? Are you listening? Damn.
So finally, we see that this fall was slowed down, and this sort of a flat region now with some weeks down and some weeks up. But the thing is, we can treat it in at least two ways. First is that this was a correction and was over, and now we have rebound, and we'll see the rise from that point. And the fact that we didn't go even lower, like after this tick or something, means that we have a fair chance to reasonable chance to go up from this point. Second thing is that you see, if we look at this in more from more conservative standpoint, that we can look at this zone, like this time period, as the short trading time, and then like from this point people were trying to buy, but then at this point it was quite like the highest point of this zone. So then most of the people, like huge players, of course we're talking about the people who are driving the market, so huge players sold. But the thing is, if they sold at this zone, then it's not enough to have like reasonable volume. In order to have a reasonable volume, then the zone should be either higher, or it should be like huge spikes at this area. We didn't see none of that, but it means that we need to sell at the different zones, and this is the zone which we may sell. So if we sell here, then the next zone when those players, those traders will buy, should be lower, because they don't want to be in the trade in the loss. So in order to make it lower, this should be not the local bottom, but it should go even lower, like 6,200 at least, where the accumulation could start, because what's the point to sell and buy in the same levels? And if you would ask me, then it probably is sort of a mixture of both. But this is crypto, and I don't really into treating it in any way similar to the traditional markets, because it's too unpredictable because of the many aspects. What I would like to see, and what I would say, what I tend to see here is the fact that this is a huge area. Like let's actually highlight it. So like something like this, a huge area of accumulation for already 3 months. We're here. We're collecting funds from pretty much the bottom, because you see it's like $500 it's really nothing for Bitcoin volatility. So huge players are collecting it here, and this small zone or these weeks up and down are nothing than just the continuation of the same trend globally. Also, you see this triangle which we looked at many times before, and local lower higher lows. So we still have like 2 weeks until we will leave this triangle. I wouldn't really put too much of the hope for this pattern, but still it's something which price interacts with for a while. So why not to look at those trends, like including our global scheme of things. Anyway, it seems like the amplitude of this rises and drops is becoming smaller and smaller. And the thing is that probably from this point, or even before that, we have quite of the decrease of the interest of buyers for this market, because it seems like there is not enough sellers, and then it means that not enough buyers then. Well, not the actual buyers, people who already bought from the supply which is on the market. The thing is, why I'm telling about that is that when there will not be enough supply for the Bitcoin, for cryptocurrencies at these lower levels, it means that the huge players will not see enough. How to say they don't they wouldn't see the reason for stay at this level anytime longer, because money should work, they should make more money, it should make more money, and then it will be the time to grow. And why I'm telling about the volume at this level is that recently there was the news about OTC market, in particular from CZ of Binance. First, he actually said that the bull run should start anytime soon. Well, not any, bull run should start very soon, but he sooner or later, he said actually, and he sees a lot of positive news, but he doesn't know why nothing helps to move the price. But still, he's very positive. And second thing he's saying about the OTC market, he said that it should be at least the same amount of the volume on OTC over-the-counter market than the actual market at the exchange we can see from CoinMarketCap or some any kind of exchange statistics, well, any exchange statistics. So, and there are a few things to mention here. First, he said that he heard, right? He doesn't say that I have this data from some reliable source or something. He probably knows people, he probably knows something, but he doesn't deal with that directly. So again, he can't reveal that. So he just say that I've heard, and okay. Second thing is that there was a sort of a previously announced study about the OTC market volume and about from the TAP group, and it said that it is at least 2 to 3 times more than the real, like the transparent volume of the trading of Bitcoin daily. And Eric Wall said that actually it's weird because from the blockchain you can see only like 100,000 Bitcoin move, while it should be 1 million to 1.5 million Bitcoin at the same time. But there are like counter arguments, and people from this study group saying that okay, we are using not only Bitcoin but also altcoins, and there are some hidden transactions and yada yada yada. A bit of a shady thing, to be honest with you, but you know, OTC market as well as the crypto as a whole is not that crystal clear thing, so I wouldn't be surprised that something is happening over there. But the real thing is, anyway, we are, if we had like 2-3x's, if we will believe that, and we will believe CZ, we are 2-3x's in August. This was from the August, and now we have just only 100%. It means that the volume of the OTC market dropped with respect to the overall market like 50% or even 75%. It means that the interest from the OTC traders became lower, and the only one reason for that I can imagine is that we don't have enough supply from the people who is ready to sell at these levels. If they don't have to, if they cannot sell at these levels, then the buyers will not be able to get enough Bitcoin to buy. So as soon as this will be lower and lower, probably we will have the reversal. So, and well, has reversal comparing to the global trend, probably the rise in the price. And finally, I was going to mention is that recently, like this few months, there was not so many huge news about the altcoins. Speaking about the altcoins, by the way, I shall mention NEM, which is making another 15%, and it was like maybe 20% max move recently with respect to Bitcoin, but still Bitcoin is pretty much the same as dollars these days. So it had before quite of the rises, but with for NEM, such a huge, relatively huge, large cap coin, such moves, and you see the volume here, mean something. So I wouldn't be surprised that after a few weeks, huge weeks of this kind, we'll finally see some move in NEM. And we talked about that before. I would be very bullish on NEM in a long term. So, but anyway, there are not so many news about the altcoins, and the thing is, they probably hold some huge news until don't release them until the new bull run will start, because and as well as like the listing on the exchanges. I'm sure it's not so hard to list your coin on Binance if it's like not completely a crappy coin. But if you list it now, what you will have, or it will release the like positive news. News basically don't mean anything. They just pump the price for 10-20% now, and then next day it drops back to the previous level, even lower. So again, the same with listing. If you list now, list the coin now on Binance, what will happen? It will have an increase like 50% or something, and then a lot of people will sell at those high levels, and then it return back, at least return back, maybe even will go lower, with the rare exceptions, of course. And if you do that during the bull run, then increase will be like 200-300%, and it will go even higher from that point. So it means that a lot of the project would not consider releasing positive news or making the listing until they will see the bull run of Bitcoin. But still, a lot of the altcoins recently, just very recently, started to making this sort of false starts of this, and one of them is XRP. They had this huge news about the technology and the XRapid, right? And now they also had some news, for example, this one, the world's fifth largest bank, just think about it, fifth largest bank will use XRP for Japan Brazil cross-border interbank payment service. Well, first of all, it's of course just collaborate. They decided to start the collaborative development, so it's not sort of already decided. It's still under consideration, but anyway, it's a positive move. But what I was going to say is that as soon as those news more and more will happen, then we'll see that the market is actually ready to the new rise, although we don't see the price of Bitcoin going up, but still a lot of the altcoins are like very much anticipating this rise, and they try to be first of the movers, for example, as XRP will. So hope it was useful. If it was, don't forget to leave a comment what do you think about all of that, and I hope to see you tomorrow in the new update as usual. Safe trading, guys. Goodbye.